In this video, we are going to practice calculating the initial velocity of a projectile whenever we know the horizontal distance traveled and the angle at which the projectile was fired. See the example at the top of the screen. A projectile is launched at an angle of 25 degrees and lands 75 feet away from the launch pad. With what initial velocity was the projectile launched? So if you'll remember from our PowerPoint video, here is our formula. Initial velocity is equal to the square root of a negative gravitational constant times horizontal distance divided by the sine of 2 times my firing angle. So looking at this formula, I'm going to just plug in my values. I notice that in my problem, I was given my answer in feet. 75 feet away is my horizontal distance. So I'm going to use the gravitational constant that is in standard or US customary units. So I'm going to have the square root of a negative, my gravitational constant is negative 32 feet per second squared. And then we need to multiply by my horizontal distance, so that is 75 feet. And then we're going to divide by the sine of 2 times my angle. So the sine of 2 times the angle at which it was launched was 25 degrees. As I simplify this, notice I have a negative times a negative, which is going to make positive. 32 times 75 is 2400. Following my units, I have feet times feet, which is going to be feet squared, over second squared, divided by the sine of 50 degrees. In my calculator, the first thing you do before you make sure to check the sine of 50 degrees, please be sure that your calculator is in degree mode. If it's not, if it's in something called rad or radian mode, you're going to get a way different answer. So in my calculator, I find that the sine of 50 degrees is 0.766. So next what I need to do is divide 2400 by 0.766. So when I do that in my calculator, I get 3,133.159 feet squared per second squared. And now I need to take the square root of that number, and when I do that, I get 55.975. I also need to take the square root of my feet squared per second squared, and that's how I find my units to be feet per second. So my initial velocity with which we launched my projectile is almost 56 feet per second.